country.
In today's legal affairs segment, setting up a charitable foundation or fund. Some truly believe that it's always better to give than to receive and want to set up their own charitable foundation. It's not difficult to make a commitment to philanthropy, even on a small budget. Our legal contributor Craig Wisdom shares his thoughts. Question is, where do you start with something like that? I know that the reason this even came up is because we had a viewer write in and ask to please give this topic to our attorney and ask, how do you set up a foundation? Why would somebody want to? I know that sounds like a weird question, but why do you need a foundation?
Well, the idea is you've got some charitable intent. You really wish to benefit charities in your community or with a specific purpose. But rather than just giving all the money, either while you're alive or when you die, to a big public charity that's just going to take the money and use it for their charitable purposes, you might want to set the money aside, but still retain some sort of control as to which charities will benefit from it.
Now,
So,
when you say, before you get any further, when you say a large amount of money, how much money are we talking about?
well, when we're talking about a private foundation, there's no limits as to how much you have to have, but for a lot of reasons, if it's just money involved that you're going to put in to give away, it probably doesn't make sense to actually set up a full private foundation for less than, say, $1 million in most cases.
Okay.
Now, that's not if you're going to run some sort of little charitable organization that's actually going to do something. But if it's a charity that's just going to hold money and give it away to other charities, but for private things like these funds we're going to talk about, this could be, you know, a few $1,000s. So it's a huge difference.
So it can be a lot or it can be a little?
Exactly.
Let's start with a little.
Okay. They're a great way to do this if you want to set charitable money aside, but you don't just want to give it away to a public charity, is to set up what we call a donor-advised fund, which is something with generally some sort of community foundation. In Arizona, for instance, we've got the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Jewish Community Foundation, and they set up these type of funds where you say, I'm going to give you some money, you're going to set it aside, and I basically get to steer which charities will benefit from this money or what type of scholarships it will set up. And so it allows people to set up something in their own name without going through all the expense and trouble and legal obligations of a full private foundation.
Okay, and now on a larger scale.
To set up a private foundation, and this could be either while someone's alive or very frequently when someone dies, they do get an estate tax charitable deduction. So if someone's charitably inclined, they also get a huge, that goes to a charity tax-free. So someone can eliminate any estate tax if they want their money to go to a charity, no matter how wealthy they are. And essentially they have to either set up a trust or a corporation that's going to hold that money, and it's got to be permanently set aside for charity. So no matter what, it's not going to go out to benefit family or individuals. But then they get to kind of set the rules about who's going to make the decisions. Typically it might be family members that get to say, this year we're going to give our money to the University of Arizona, this year we're going to give our money to the Carondelet Foundation, things like that.
I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Well, probably. But it's a chance to kind of maintain some family control and direction while still, knowing it's going to be set aside and used for charity.
I'm going to think of that question. I'm going to email you.
I'll come back for it.
All right, Craig, thank you. On the Consumer